Let me hit you with a harsh truth. Emotional strength isn't about not crying at movies or pretending you're totally fine when your life is in full-on dumpster fire mode. Nope. That's just emotional constipation in disguise. Here's the deal. Most people walk around thinking they've got it all together. Because, hey, they're not curled up in a ball listening to sad songs on repeat, right? But emotional weakness isn't always loud. It's sneaky. It's subtle. It hides behind, "I'm just being realistic. I don't want to cause drama. And that's just how I am." But guess what? If you don't notice these signs in yourself, you're not strong. You're just unaware. And let me tell you, sign number 3. Most people never catch it, but it will ruin your confidence faster than your phone battery dies at 2%. In this video, we're diving into 7 signs you're emotionally weak. And don't worry, this isn't a personal attack. Okay, maybe it is, but it's done with love and sarcasm. So if you've ever wondered why people walk all over you, or why you keep spiraling into the same emotional black holes, pay attention, because recognizing these signs, that's the first step to finally turning things around. Let's go. Let's be real, nobody loves conflict. But if your entire emotional strategy is smiling, nodding, and bottling up your feelings until they explode in a weird argument over who left the spoon in the sink, that's not peacekeeping, that's emotional cowardice. Sign number 1. You avoid conflict like it's a bear on fire. And sure, avoiding confrontation feels mature in the moment. You convince yourself you're being the bigger person while secretly collecting tiny emotional paper cuts that eventually turn into one giant scar shaped like passive aggression. Here's the truth. Avoiding conflict doesn't make you strong. It makes you emotionally flammable. You're not keeping the peace. You're just delaying the explosion. Emotionally strong people don't go looking for fights, but they do say what needs to be said. You rehearse arguments in the shower 3 days later like you're auditioning for a soap opera. If you can't handle 5 minutes of tension to protect your peace long term, you're choosing comfort over growth. But brace yourself, because sign number 2, it's the emotional equivalent of volunteering to carry everyone's emotional baggage at the airport while forgetting your own suitcase. Let's unpack that. Some people have a savior complex. You've got a doormat diploma with honors in emotional self-sacrifice. If someone even looks mildly upset, you drop everything, your time, your energy, your sanity, to fix it. Not because they asked, but because you need to be needed. Sign number 2, you overextend yourself emotionally and call it being a good person. Look, empathy is great, compassion, amazing. But when your emotional strength depends on being the unpaid therapist for your entire social circle, we've got a problem. You can't pour from an empty cup, especially when you're too busy using your cup to catch everyone else's tears. And here's the kicker. People rarely thank you for it, because emotional overextension often looks like neediness in disguise. You think you're helping, they think you're clingy. No one wins. Strong people offer support without self-destruction. Weak people need to be the helper because it's the only way they feel valuable. That's not kindness. That's codependency in a trench coat. Now get ready, because sign number 3, it's the silent killer of confidence. Most people don't even realize it's happening until their self-worth is running on fumes. Here it comes. You apologize for everything. Someone bumps into you. Oh, sorry. You disagree politely in a conversation. Sorry, just my opinion. You exist in a space. Sorry, I'll move. Sign number 3. You over-apologize constantly. And here's the twist. You don't even know you're doing it. Over-apologizing is like handing out tiny permission slips that say, "Hey, I don't really belong here." It doesn't make you polite. It makes you invisible. You're basically shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. And spoiler alert, that's not humility. That's fear of rejection dressed up as being nice. When you say sorry for having needs, boundaries, or, God forbid, a personality, you're telling the world, my existence is inconvenient, and the world, it listens. Emotionally strong people apologize when it's necessary. You apologize like it's a nervous tick. So let's get this straight. Sorry I'm late is fine. Sorry for existing is not. Now buckle up, because sign number 4, it's the hidden addiction that feels like self-discipline, but it's actually emotional avoidance in a productivity disguise. Let's go there. You're always busy. Like, we get it. You have a calendar. Your to-do list is longer than a CVS receipt. Every hour is packed, every minute scheduled. You even relax with podcasts on 2x speed. Because silence? Terrifying. Sign number 4. You stay constantly busy to avoid feeling your feelings. You call it hustle. You call it ambition. But let's be honest, you're not grinding for greatness. You're running from your emotions like they've got unpaid rent. Here's what's really happening. Stillness gives your brain just enough time to bring up that weird childhood memory or the fact that you feel like a fraud 40% of the time. So instead, you fill your schedule with noise, tasks, workouts, emails, life hacks, anything to avoid being alone with your thoughts. And don't get me wrong, productivity is awesome. But when you treat it like a personality trait, you're not emotionally strong. You're emotionally distracted. Real strength is being able to sit in silence and not spiral. You open Instagram the second your coffee machine makes a weird noise. But here's the plot twist. Sign number 5. It's when you do feel your feelings and then weaponize them. Brace yourself. Ever had a bad day and suddenly the entire room is walking on eggshells? Yeah, you didn't say anything, but your sighs are dramatic, your silence is loud, and you're slamming doors like you're getting paid per decibel. Sign number 5. You use emotions to manipulate or control situations. Now hold on, before you get defensive and throw your phone across the room in a totally non-dramatic way. Let's unpack this. Emotional strength isn't just feeling your emotions, it's managing them like a grown-up. But when you sulk to get sympathy, guilt trip your partner into doing what you want, or give people the cold shoulder until they beg you to talk, that's not emotional expression. That's emotional blackmail with extra steps. Here's the truth. Strong people communicate. Weak people hope everyone just magically picks up on their vibe and acts accordingly. Spoiler alert, people aren't psychic. If you want something, use words. Not guilt, not tears, not I'm fine when you're clearly 11 seconds from a meltdown. Now let's shift gears, because sign number 6, it's the ultimate trap for people who think they're being open-minded, but they're actually just spineless. Let's expose it. You agree with everyone, all the time. Someone says pineapple belongs on pizza? Totally. Next person says it's an abomination. Yes, 100%, absolutely. You're basically a human echo. Sign number 6. You're afraid to have your own opinion. Here's the thing. You call it being easygoing or open to different views. But deep down, you're terrified that disagreeing will make people like you less. So you morph, shift, and chameleon your way through every conversation until nobody, including you, knows what you actually believe. Let's be clear. Being agreeable isn't a strength when it comes at the cost of your identity. That's not diplomacy. That's emotional jellyfish behavior. No backbone, no direction, just floating with the current and hoping nobody pokes you. Strong people can hold opposing views, respectfully. Weak people nod like bobbleheads and then spiral later, wondering why no one takes them seriously. And here's the kicker. If you never stand for anything, people will walk all over you. Because silence isn't always peaceful. Sometimes it's just self-erasure. Now for the finale, sign number 7. This one, it's the heartbreak habit that keeps you stuck in the same cycles. And it's hiding behind a fake badge of loyalty. Let's finish strong. You stay in toxic situations way too long. Bad relationships, one-sided friendships, soul-sucking jobs. You hold on like there's a prize for enduring the most emotional damage without flinching. Sign number 7. You confuse emotional endurance with emotional strength. Look, sticking things out can be noble, but staying in a situation that's clearly draining your sanity, that's not strength, it's self-sabotage in a brave little outfit. You say things like, "I don't want to give up. It's not that bad. Maybe it'll change." Newsflash, it won't. If you're constantly excusing someone's behavior or convincing yourself it's just a rough patch that's lasted 3 years, you're not loyal. You're just emotionally handcuffed to your fear of starting over. Strong people know when to walk away. Weak people stay, hoping that loving harder will fix what's broken. Spoiler, love doesn't cure dysfunction. Boundaries do. And here's the truth bomb to end on. You don't owe anyone your peace. Not your partner, not your boss, not your childhood best friend from 2009 who still treats you like a backup plan.